Hey, everybody. Hello, hello. I'm excited. There's a lot going on this week. We've got so much cool stuff happening, including a couple new programs we're going to be launching. But today, with my dear Simeon and you guys, we are going to be talking about how to work your sphere of influence and especially old leads. So this is part of our warm outreach strategy because obviously sphere and old leads are still warm. They
Is
might
there
not be.
one more parts to the warm outreach strategy left?
We've got, technically, we're supposed to do, depends how far we get today, but we still have, I think, probably one more session where we'll talk more about, maybe about how to really target like your local businesses and vendors and partners and things like that. But, and
Right.
then we have to just figure out how far we get. If we want to do a whole session, maybe on open houses, we might want to, or half a session, just because today we can talk about old open house leads, I think, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking another day is just like how to really do a good job on an open house.
Yeah. Listen, like cold, like going back to old leads
Yeah.
is a big deal because it's people and names that you've acquired. It's paid for. It's bonus. It's extra.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
and, it, and it's only because of us being too busy or too this that they became this way to begin with.
Right.
So the cost to acquire and revive the ROI is infinite because they're already paid for. So if you can get the old database to do its thing, the ROI is obviously significant and the workload is much lighter than it is to convert a new lead that doesn't know you and trust you. So
For sure.
it's definitely worth it. And we're gonna have a great conversation.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, and I will just tease everybody the featured resource today is kind of a fun one. We're doing an inbox revival challenge. So the idea here is we're going to merge what we learned from you about the Ford method and follow that same script method that we promised everybody they only need this one script method. So this is another way
True.
for us to prove it, which is really fun, I think. But this will give them a simple challenge that they can follow to revive some old leads.
And
And
it's personalized. Like it's not a
yeah,
random generic thing. Like when you go back, I can think right now, people that I haven't spoken to in 6 months. Easy. I
yeah,
can think of at least 20 people that I haven't spoken to in 6 months.
yeah,
But for me to simply reference what was happening when I met them and follow up on it, that is the Ford method. Family,
exactly.
occupation, recreation, dreams, period. There's
Yeah,
something that I can touch that means something to them.
yeah,
And
100%.
those and the examples that you created and put together for everyone really, really put that on display. So good stuff.
Awesome, awesome. So basically, today we'll dive into the sphere of influence, which it's just so everybody is clear what we're considering sphere of influence in this case is friends, family, could be past clients, it could be forgotten champions, it could be things that you simply haven't touched. And I think for us, sphere of influence is not necessarily old leads. Could be any warm outreach, of course, right? But on top of that, you've got probably, if you've been at this for a while, we got a load of old open house leads we just talked about and reviving them. And then the last thing is if there's some other bucket of older neglected leads, maybe people that you thought have ghosted you or whatever, we can talk about that too. But I think certainly the old leads fall into kind of the same thing as the sphere of influence, but I'm going to let you talk to that. So maybe why don't we start with that? Like, do you actually think that how different do you imagine the outreach is from just a regular sphere of influence versus an old lead? Are we going down two different tracks?
I think we don't need to. You can if you want to, but you don't need to. If you stop labeling and thinking that way, you're actually never going to have old leads again.
Awesome.
Because everybody should be in the hopper, in some kind of a rotation, whether it's CMAs, whether it's gifting, whether it's Popeye campaigns. There's like real estate is infinite. Everybody can go into niche into anything. Like even within residential real estate, you can
Mhm.
be the person who does the conversions, duplex conversions. You can do just seniors housing, new home buyers. There's a million different types of way to do business.
Mhm.
What doesn't change is what's required for a transaction, and that's clients. Period. You need a person on one side and a person on the other, and you need to get to be the ham in the sandwich. That's the end of it all. So when we talk about database, organizing a database shouldn't be old beat up leads or this, that, and the other. They should be, were they a buyer? Are they a friend? Are they simply a friend? Have they ever been a client? What can I do to become top of mind? What can I say that makes me connect with this person better? So when you look at warm outreach, when you look at cold outreach, when you look at any outreach, the point is to connect. Connect at a level that creates intention and creates a logical sequence of events. If I call you and say, hey, are you thinking of selling your house today? You're going to say, no, goodbye. Who in the hell thinks of selling their home today?
Yeah,
Nobody.
well, a very small percentage, that's for sure.
A
Yeah.
very small percentage.
At
And
the
if that's
perfect
your,
moment in time. Yeah.
it's just like posting you're just listed. Which one of your 678 followers is going to love that house in that neighborhood? It's nonsense. When you just post a just listed with no intention, it's a wasted effort. The only thing that post does is tells people that you're a realtor. So instead of saying like just listed, come and take a look at this house, that's something that a lot of people don't know why they're doing it. Are they doing it to appease the seller that they posted on social media? Are you doing it? What is your intention? Where a different strategy for social as well as it can say just listed, but you can say, look at this wonderful home. I'm working with the sellers on moving this. It's been in their home in their life for 3 generations. They're selling it. They're moving away to Florida. That creates a narrative and a story that somebody can touch with. The closing statement should be, if you know anyone looking for a home of this nature with such deep roots in the community, whatever the case may be, you need to spark and ignite emotion. You want your audience to connect with you for a reason. When they see you go that extra mile and they want to sell their home and they start thinking of selling their home, they're going to think of who creates an emotional story, who makes them think. Because every time you make them think, they know you're a realtor. It's the basis and foundation. So this inbox revival, using the Ford method, not only is it a brilliant way to get back to people, you want to step it up a notch, do a bomb on top of it. Do a video telling them, hey, Sabina, it's been a while since I've seen you. And last time we were together, we got together in New York. And we toured the Finger Lakes and we did what we did. And it was so much fun. I just wanted to touch base and see how you're doing. End of story. What are the chances that you ignore that email? And if you do ignore that email, what a message that is in itself. Because then I would come back and say a week later, hey, girl, I emailed you last week. Hope everything is okay. Hopefully the trigger, no, I'm okay. I just got busy. I'm so sorry. Or you know what? I don't like you. And if you don't like me, it's okay. I'm going to remove you from my database because I don't want to bother you again. This is a cleanup with intent.
Yeah.
And these are touch points where you can use F, O, R, or D in any way, shape, or form. This is why you don't need the latest, most trendiest TikTok dance. Just touch your clients.
Let me
In a
ask you
meaningful way.
something. If you are, let's say it's an old lead or somebody in your sphere who you don't know very well and you don't have any touch points, like you don't know, do you have some suggestions for these guys on things that they could use that maybe?
Of course. So let's
Well,
talk
listen
about an
to that
open house
question.
lead. Open
Yeah.
house lead. You met them for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
max 3 minutes. They
Right.
came and they went, and this was last year. What do I say?
Right.
You say exactly what you should be saying. Hi, we met very briefly at an open house last year. Your family made a big impression on me, and right now I have the time to take on new clients. Are you still looking to buy a home? Because if you are, I thought of you guys and I looked at my notes. Now I'm creating a narrative, and there's at least 3 3-bedroom houses in that neighborhood for sale right now. And as you know, it's a tough market. We might actually save you 10, 20,000 bucks. Prices have actually adjusted a bit in that market of yours. And now you're leading with value that you may have seen something that works for them. They are going to say one of 2 things. One of 3 things. We bought a home. Thank you. If so, you're going to go down a path and say, where did you buy a home? Oh, I would love to pop by sometime. This is my neighborhood I'm working in.
Mhm.
touch point, drop off a planter, drop off anything, but work on developing a relationship to catch them next time, because we know 8 out of 10 realtors abandon their clients. Fact. So if 8 out of 10 will never touch them again after the transaction, you have a chance to get them on the second go around or in an investment property. Number 2, we put the search on pause. Why? Because I got laid off. We were depending on my wife's income, kids, whatever. We put the search on pause. Well, I would love to get you unstuck. There's 3 properties that I saw that are perfect and within your budget, the one that I have, and you let me know. I would love to get together for coffee and get me updated. But if all is the same, I would love to show you these homes, even if you need more time. Touch, connect, spend time, develop relationship.
Mhm.
Last but
Yeah.
not least, yes, we are still actively searching, but we have signed a buyer agency with another agent. Or we are still looking. Are you under contract with anybody? Because I would love to show you some properties. There's 3 in your neighborhood. No, I'm not in a relationship. Great. When can we take a look at them? When can we reconnect where I can just take everything back into account?
Mhm.
But there is nothing wrong with you speaking in a way that gives them value first. So if you don't have family to speak to, occupation, there's no relationship.
Yeah.
Well, we had a moment. In that moment, you made a big impact on me, and I'm reaching out. I have the time to reach out to all the clients that came to my open houses to see if they don't have an existing relationship. I would love to take you on.
Mhm.
And if you do have an existing relationship with a realtor and you're still looking, please put me in touch with them, because I think I have a few properties that might work for you guys.
Yeah. So let me ask you something. Question just came in, which was going to be my question as well. Tamara's asking, what is the cadence for check-ins? Like, should you be like staying in touch with, say, past clients or your sphere? Monthly, quarterly? How do you sort of set it up?
Yeah. So again, we're going to use business logic, and we have to ask ourselves, what does that mean? Well, what does that mean to you? Because
Mhm.
business logic, that's why we're all different. And
Mhm.
my insight that I'm giving to all of us is, you have to use your own life's prejudices and decision-making processes to make good decisions. We're going to talk about Tamara. So Tamara, I don't know you, but I sold you a house. No, let's put it this way. Let's use the people that everybody hates calling first, which is their actual friends. So let's say me and Tamara are friends.
Mhm.
I'm always embarrassed to call my friends about business because you sound thirsty or you sound whatever. Everybody hates calling their friends. I don't. And you're going to call your friends every 2 to 3 months, and you're going to do so to ask them their opinion about a marketing campaign. You need to if you hate calling your friends because you don't want to sound like a realtor, like a shoe salesman, like a commodity, how about you stop treating them like such, that you only expect them to call you when they want to transact, and involve them in your life? Testing out this new campaign for buyers. Tamara, can you look at it for me? My dear friend, tell me, would you use me? Would you call my phone if you saw this?
Mhm.
No, I wouldn't. You look cheesy as hell. Or yes, I would. This is really engaging.
Yeah.
That's how you touch them. But going back to cadence, it depends. If I sold you and your husband something, Sabina,
Mhm.
and I know as a fact that you are not in a position to or interested in buying anything more. You guys are regular people. You're a teacher. He's a mechanic, whatever the case may be. I know as a fact that you're not buying anything.
Mhm.
I'm going to check in with you either every 3 months or every 6 months. You're not my friend, you're a client. I respect you, and every 6 months, I'm going to give you an update on the market. Hey, I'm just touching base. I wanted you to know what's happening. Real estate values are up, your equities keep building, real estate values are down. It's a hiccup in the marketplace, whatever the case may be, but I'm going to let you know where you stand and remind you who I am. Every 6 months, you can send a card. Every 6 months, you can send a calendar. Every 6 months, and like, I don't like the whole calendar thing, like with the branding. It's actually a little bit opposite of what the market used to be like. Like putting my name on your wall is weird. Creating a personal calendar for them that they actually want to put up in their home, don't worry, they remember where he came from. They know who got them the calendar, the nice one, not the cheap, held on. Think these things through. Tamara, I hope that answers your question. There should be regular campaigns. Not everybody's a one-off. You should be doing, like here in my market, a lot of people will drop off bulbs. It's just something simple, easy. It's $5. You drop off a couple tulips where they're going to spring, and it's something that reminds people, oh, how nice, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You can drop by with a coffee. You can, like, I'm talking with an actual coffee. Like, I'm in the neighborhood. Are you around? No, you're not. Oh, I was going to drop by for a coffee. You've done your job. It's just like if you had coffee with them. Oh, next time, give me a call before your thing. Oh, no, I was just in the neighborhood. I thought of you. That's all. On with your day. Have a great week ahead. I'll be in touch. But that's exactly like having a coffee because you thought of them. This is where the outreach, the emails, people, like, if you can send an email out to 2,000 people and 12 people reply back, you have enough work for a month ahead of you. This is where that matters.
Yeah. That's, you know what? I think that's you just made me think of a question that I actually hadn't written down in advance. If you're dealing with, like you said, if you've got you send out 2,000 emails and you get 10 back, that's a really good point of question. So what should everybody be expecting, do you think? Like when they're doing this kind of stuff, are you expecting? Because I think a lot of people figure if you're not getting something that leads to a deal every 2 phone calls or something, you know what I mean? Like, should it be just 10, 2? You know what I mean? What's your experience? Like, what kind of results should we be thinking we're
I mean,
getting?
my database personally is extremely well cultivated.
Right. Well, I think that's a good point. We should talk about managing the database too. So
for sure. Well, that's what this is. That's
yeah,
what this is. If you don't have a CRM and you're straight in your inbox, you're never going to
yeah.
build a real business. You need
Proper
systems, and you
tagging.
need
Yeah.
it's exactly to Tamara's point. What is a good rule of thumb for staying in touch with past clients? Monthly check-ins or would quarterly work just fine? Past clients, quarterly is probably more than enough, with lots of engaging socials tied to it, with consistent, valuable content going to them. So once a quarter is a phone call. An email is not a check-in.
Right.
An email is cultivation, is slow and steady, omnipresent, etc.
Yeah.
Existing clients, again, whether you do the ABC method, A leads, B leads, C leads, it just depends. This is all about actually bringing value to your client's life where they want to call you back and transact with you because they feel that you are there for them in a genuine way.
Yeah.
So again, the forward script allows for that. And using the forward script in both your messaging and in your conversations keeps you on top of mind while building trust, period.
Well, and this is why, we actually should go back to probably talking about this, so maybe on the next session, but this whole idea of tracking your metrics and your conversions.
Yeah.
So that people feel like they understand you probably, I would imagine, are long at this point where if your team has done X emails, X calls, X videos, X whatever's, gift drop-offs, you name it, your conversion rate is whatever it is. And this is
astronomically higher.
Yeah.
So,
but it's also
listen,
defined, and people know how much they need
there's
to
so
do.
many wonderful coaches and wonderful systems
Yeah.
that you can work off of and build your business with. There's not a time that I don't have a professional that I trust to run my business by, and we've been at the top of the game for a long time.
Mhm.
But as long as you know that you don't know everything,
For sure. I mean, that's why they're here
which
with us today, for sure, you know?
that's right. That is damn
So
right.
in terms of video messaging, I personally believe that a video message is worth more than, say, an email or a text. How
Yeah,
are you utilizing them much? How are you finding them?
I am indeed. If I were to share my screen to my Slack right now, you'll see
Mhm,
a conversation between me and my director of operations of 3 videos that I need to shoot for a campaign next week. The
mhm,
campaign next week is going to 25 buyers who bought at a new development in Toronto 4 years ago that's coming to close right now. This message, this video message is going to say, "This is Simeon. I hope everybody's doing great. As all of you know, you may have received your paperwork. If not, it's shortly. It's coming out in the next 2 weeks. Closings at House of Assembly are starting May 30th and going all the way to August 30th, depending on
mhm,
what floor you're on. I have created a portal for you to review at reccanada.com/occupancy, where you can see what the next steps are.
mhm.
This drives them literally from one video to a series of videos, because I have left nothing out of the process without me being in control of the narrative. For your statement of adjustments, take a look at the last closing that I had for myself last December.
Mhm.
For if you don't have a lawyer, please take a look at the right of the screen where you'll see the names of 2 firms that we work with and trust and have delivered results. Appraisers, painters, movers, everything that you could possibly need, either as an end user or investor, is going to be in that portal. But the video that I have to shoot now is not just say an email, "Hey, go take a look at the portal." I could do that and be done in 10 minutes. Or I know I'm going to have 800% open rate because they're going to send it to their wives. Like literally, my open rate's not 100, it's 800 because it's well done always.
Right.
And they're told what to do, and they get to see my face and they get to remember me, the way I speak, the way I look, everything. That's
Yep.
what I want. That's
Yeah,
why I don't do phone calls. Like I'll do Zooms every chance I can. Why? Because it's the next best thing to being in person.
for sure.
Would it be nicer if me and you were sitting beside each other right now? Of course. It's a better show. It's a better feeling. We're together. But this is second best.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm with you. So I feel exactly the same way, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to mention it. But the other thing that I think is really critical is all of this also connects back, and I'm really glad you mentioned that, you're adding value stages into your touch points, basically, so that you have obviously a reason they need this information. You should be doing this as part of your service regardless, but the way that you're doing it adds value and is shareable, which I think is something that a lot of agents aren't maybe doing quite as well as that.
It,
So
and
as a
it's not
takeaway,
assumptions. Meaning,
yeah,
I will say the same thing again to make sure they get it.
right. Yeah, that's actually a really good point because, these days, probably more than ever, we're all distracted. It's probably not a terrible idea to be repeating yourself on occasion too, which gives you just more reasons to touch,
Just remember, just because we're in real estate, eating, drinking, touching
right?
real estate all day, nobody else is.
Well, not only that, there is another thing that you remind me of that could be sort of an extra bonus activity that a realtor could certainly execute upon. When you're doing these touch points, you know that in most cases the information is similar. You're just filling in the blanks, property address, this is different, that's different. You've got your list of vendors and suppliers and all that good stuff. There's no reason why these basic stages couldn't also be part of their social media outreach. Not specific to a property maybe, but here's how the closing stages work. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, like an FAQ style or a list style, ways to sort of show that they add value, but also are educating their audience and showing that they're a leader, a thought leader, whatever it is the positioning is. This is something that I really feel could also come out of what you're talking about. you know, the
Mhm.
personal version, but also the version where you're fronting it from an education perspective.
Yes,
So anyway, I think that's actually sort of interesting too.
yes.
So we're almost ready to wrap. I just want to make sure I've got a couple other questions that came in to me. Hang on. Some of these we've covered, so I just want to make sure I've got everything. Oh, here's an interesting one. I don't know. This is an interesting question. What if someone in my sphere just bought or sold with someone else? How should I reach out?
Well, exactly the way it sounds. It
Mhm,
happens all the time. It happens a lot more often than people think.
mhm,
There is no worse feeling. It's gut-wrenching. In many cases, today, okay, you guys want a live example, huh? This is live. So, and I'm going to read it verbatim. Simeon, how are you, brother? I need your advice, buddy, on that condo I bought a few years ago in Southeast Calgary. The builder is Minto. The project was East Hills Crossing condos. He didn't buy it through me. But listen to the entitlement and listen to the expectation. And this is why, like, if any of the agents watching right now are junior or senior, if senior, they'll know what this feels like because I want to like break something. But to the new agents, the amount of patience you must have and to understand how completely ignorant people can be. Like he doesn't even think that like he knows that I'm the the famous realtor, but he didn't call me to buy it from the famous realtor. He's calling me to solve his problem with the expectation of me solving it. Hear this. Got an email that it's going to be ready between July and September. I have an option for the lease back program, blah, blah, blah. I found a property manager as well. Is it better there? With the GST, government sales tax, it comes to X. The rent on leaseback won't cover costs at mortgage rates now. I'm okay with putting some money monthly, but what do you think? The leaseback program, etc., etc. They charge a fee, etc., etc. I also need a lawyer in Calgary for closing that condo. You know anyone when the time comes? I could ask the guy from the management company I found as well, but thought I'd better ask you first. I said, no problem, my man. Give me a call tomorrow after 1 o'clock. Happy to chat and go over it. He says, thank you. Just not feeling well, but I'll call you back. Sorry, I never called back. I'm still in the hospital. Bad case of flu. I'm really sick. Got it from the kids. I still need your help. So there's two ways we could go about this.
yeah,
I could I could say get well soon and call the realtor you bought it off,
right.
or I'm gonna do what Simeon always does.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take the high ground. I'm gonna solve his problems. I'm going to, at some point, chuck in a little passive aggression as to how could this happen. Well, I'll tell you how it happens when you don't work with people who actually care for you. But it's neither here nor there. And let's get this condo sold so you can get your money out and make your next move.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, I'm not going to let him skate for free. At
Mhm.
some point, he's going to hear the bell ringing for him. But I will take the high ground and solve his issues.
Right.
So I hope that answers your question. This is
It's a,
as
yes.
of, this is as of, um, oh, by the way, he bought this April 26th, 2019, when he told me he bought it from someone else. That was the first slap to the face. And then
Right.
6 years later,
Still need
this
more help.
was Friday at 4:31 is when it started. And that text was this morning. He never called me yesterday. But
Interesting.
this happens every day to all of us. Nobody is immune to it. People
Mhm.
will always what feels to be betrayal, but they're not thinking. Because if he was thinking, he wouldn't call to ask for help. He's like, it's not like he has any shame in it. He doesn't even know what he did wrong. But
Well,
like,
and let's face it, you're going to handle it for him and you're going to probably get the next one and
that's right.
get some referrals from him on top of it
That's
all.
right. That's right. So
So,
like if you take the petty ground, the you should have called your realtor, you definitely don't win anything.
Right.
You will get nothing. You just served your ego's anger for like,
Mhm.
that's where business decisions that matter.
Right.
Like, that's all. So yes, the answer, it happens. This is how you do it. You lead with grace. You lead with positivity,
Yep.
and it's a numbers game. You're going to catch the next one. But
Awesome.
don't be
Awesome.
mad at them and don't swear at them.
Don't swear at them. At least, yes, under your breath, maybe a touch, but other than
Maybe a
that,
touch.
maybe a tiny bit. But I love that approach. So that's great. I think that answers it really clearly for everybody. So the final thing is the reminder to everybody, the inbox revival challenge. Definitely jump on it. It's just a one-pager. It's a simple challenge. Gives everybody some script ideas using the Ford method, how to touch these people. If you're not sort of ready after this conversation, this can help you sort of take the next steps. And I want to know how it went for everybody. So let's hear some stories, hopefully next week. And
Yeah,
we'll
let's just email us in your success stories or your challenges. Don't
yeah.
forget, like, every day, like today, I don't care if you started at 6 in the morning or if you're starting now. You got to put in your time and your calls like
Mhm.
now. This is the time. Like, we're getting off this call, get to it, get cracking. And let's hear some success stories next week. Let's see how many people everyone's working with.
Awesome. Awesome. And don't forget, systems beat motivation. So that's the point. Every
Get to
day,
it.
every single day, we're going to give you a hard time. I love it.
Okay, everybody, have an amazing week ahead. Have a great balance of your Monday. I will see you guys next week.
Sounds awesome. Thanks, Simeon. Ciao,
You
ciao.
bet. Bye.
Bye now.